We've all faced moments that test our resilience, and I've recently faced my own type of moment in the passing of my granddad. So let's explore how we can rise back up from adversity and come back even stronger than before. Chapter 1: Acknowledging the loss. First and foremost, it's important to acknowledge the loss. It's okay to feel all the emotions that you may be feeling about this particular loss, even if it may not be the loss of a loved one, but probably you made a bad decision in business and you made a huge loss because of it, or whatever the case may be. It's okay to feel that way about whatever that case is, right? But as you feel that way, acknowledge that this thing has happened, because once you acknowledge, then you start thinking of ways to then move forward from it.
Chapter 2: Reevaluate your life.
So now that you've acknowledged that this loss happened, or this change happened, or this setback happened, what you now need to do is to reevaluate your path. Sometimes some of the goals that you had set for yourself may not be feasible anymore because of this particular thing. Or probably some of the actions that you'd put for yourself may no longer be feasible because of this particular thing. So probably you got injured and now you use a wheelchair. Some of the things that you used to be able to do before that injury, you're no longer able to do. So now you need to reevaluate your path, reevaluate how you're going to get to your goals, in spite of this setback that you've just faced. For example, I had many goals that I had planned with my granddad in mind. There are many milestones in my life where I really wanted him to be there. And just for context, my granddad was one person who was most proud of me. He always used to support me and celebrate me, even the little things. So now that he's not there, I have to reevaluate my path. I have to even reevaluate my motivation for some things, because him being there to celebrate me was motivation enough for a number of things that I said I was going to achieve this year. So now without him there, I need to rethink how I'm going to maintain my goal and not change my goal, but probably just change how I'm going to get that goal and how I'm going to keep myself fueled enough to actually achieve that goal. So this isn't in any way about forgetting the ones that you lost, for example, if you lost someone, but rather redefining your approach to whatever it is that you're pushing for in a way that honors them and also stays true to yourself. Chapter 3: Create new routines. So now, because of this particular setback, the routines that you probably had for yourself may not still work. You don't have to force things. You don't have to be rigid and say, okay, this is the routine that was working before this particular thing happened, so I have to stick to it. No, be flexible. Try out new routines, different routines, and find which one works best for you in this particular context. And also give yourself grace, because sometimes the emotions that you have towards this particular thing may affect your delivery of that particular routine on a particular day. Be flexible. Think around, before it actually happens, think around what routine you can actually implement when you're feeling that type of way. So that way, even though you've got these emotions that you're feeling, you're still productive in one way or the other, even though it may not be at the maximum level of productivity that you desire. Creating new routines helps you to find stability in the day-to-day amidst the change. So establish new routines that serve your current life and also allow them to evolve as you do so. Chapter 4: Adjust your budget. So because of this particular setback, you may find yourself in a place where you have to adjust your budget. Probably because of that particular setback, you ended up investing money that you had saved. You end up investing money that you were supposed to be directing elsewhere. Or probably you earned a lot less than you were supposed to have earned within that particular period, and now you have to make a comeback from that. Adjust your budget accordingly. Where you probably earned a lot less than you were supposed to, if you hadn't had this particular situation that you faced, then probably you have to start thinking around, okay, how am I going to earn a lot more in this particular period? It may not be for the whole year, but it's actually good if you can actually pull it off for the rest of the year. That's good for you. Now you're actually going to make more money than you had bargained for initially. But maybe sometimes it's just about recovering that amount of money that you didn't make within that period. because probably whatever it is that you're going to think of may be too much pressure for you to be able to sustain it throughout the rest of the year, and that is completely fine. And then also sometimes you may have spent more than you were supposed to, and now you have to think around, okay, where, in what areas am I able to cut down for me to save the money that I used that I wasn't supposed to have used. For example, I used to budget with my granddad in mind. I always used to make sure that I'm working harder to make sure that if there's any money that's needed for his medical bills and all of that, I do have something to contribute. And now I realized rather, that after he passed on, and then I didn't have to make sure that I always had money to contribute, then I wasn't motivated to do much. But then I realized that no, even though Vashkul is not there, there are things that I still have to do. There are things that I told him that I was going to accomplish. And if I'm going to be stuck in this rut of not working and not putting in all the effort that I was before, I am not going to accomplish them. So while he may not be here to applaud me physically, I know that he would have really wanted me to do these things. So to make him proud regardless, I need to make sure that I continuously work. I have to think of ways to earn more. I have to think of ways to continue being motivated in order to earn what I was supposed to earn within this period. Chapter 5, find support. So because of this thing that you're feeling, right, you do need people to support you. I understand it's not about going to everyone and telling them your business and all of that, but find support in one way or the other. Here's the thing, I'll be very honest with you. With me, it's very challenging. The position that I am in is very challenging because I'm a pastor, I'm a youth pastor at my church. And also because of this particular position that I have, I can't really go around showing that I'm down, I'm feeling this all the time. I have to be strong, I have to be tough-skinned. I can't be carrying my emotions all over. And I also can't just be sharing my emotions. I really don't have... I apologize for my dog that's barking. I really don't have much option in terms of sharing all of that. But what I've started finding comfort in is the Word of God. In one of my previous videos, in the video that I did the story time telling about my granddad and all of that, I shared a verse that my pastor reminded me of, 1 Thessalonians chapter 4 verses 13 to 18, and that has really been comforting me. Just knowing that Vashkulu may not be here right now, but it's only separation. The death that he died is only separation of the spirit from the body, but his spirit is alive and he's with God right now. And I will meet him at the end of the day, not at the end of the day, at the end, when the rapture occurs, I will meet him in the clouds as we meet the Master in the air. And that's really comforting me. This Sunday, I went to church for the first time in 3 weeks, and I really had a blast. I missed 3 Sundays because of Vashkulu's sickness. He was in hospital, and then after that, it was a funeral and all of that. So I really had a great time. I felt so much love amongst the brethren. It's so amazing, guys. Be part of a loving church. If you don't have one, my dogs. If you don't have one, right, come to my church. I go to Life Center International Church. We are in Mashingo and other different parts. So just let me know where you are, and then I'll let you know the branch that's closest to you, and then you can just go there. Chapter 6, embracing change. It goes without saying, life after a setback will be different. It'll be very different from what you were used to before the setback happened. But you have to embrace the change for you to be able to move forward and actually achieve as much as you can within this year, regardless of that setback. Whilst it may be different, it may also be a canvas for you to start new things and develop a whole new different life altogether. Explore new interests, take on new opportunities, and allow yourself to grow in the process. Chapter 7, set new goals and take action. So, some of the goals that you had before the setback may not make sense now, right? But just because that's the case, you can't just sit and say, okay, now what? I'm just going to live life however. No, you have to set new goals, right? Set goals that now make sense in this current context that you're in, and make sure that you take as much action as possible to achieve them. Lastly, celebrate the small wins. Don't wait for you to make a major change in your life to achieve a major thing in your life before you celebrate. Whatever small thing you've achieved, celebrate it. It will also give you the motivation to continuously work towards achieving this particular thing. The more that you celebrate the small wins, you actually see that it's very possible for you to still make progress despite this setback. Life after a setback is going to be very different, but that's just how it is. And my journey without my granddad, whilst it is different, I have the power to make it one of potential and purpose. And so do you. You have the power to make your comeback story one that is just as powerful. Otherwise, that is it for today, guys. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Comment down below. Let me know what it is that you really liked about this video, guys. When you talk, it also makes me know whether or not the content that I'm sharing is helping you. Share this video with someone who may need it, and also subscribe if you haven't done so already. And this is my dog Sherlock. He just came. Say bye. Thank you so much, guys. See you in the next one.